expected from last game.
Yeah, so Splyce opening Zarya ban, it seems to be something more common. I like it as an opener on blue side because it gives you a lot of options. Obviously, Splyce prepared his draft. They won the draft insanely hard, so I don't think they have to change anything.
Yeah, why not? So the LeBlanc's banned away once again. It's the same clockwork for Vitality, and there's the Rise. So same 3 bans for Splyce on their side, 2 supports and a mid laner.
They're going to ban out the Shen. They're going to give them Rengar again because they really value this Jace. Now, Splyce, so this Shen ban is Jace-oriented. We have to realize that. It means that Vitality still want to play Jace, but they don't want to play it. They probably want to play it top right now, but not into the Shen. So they want to pick it maybe third instead of early. So Vitality right now, they're fighting. Do we pick Jace already? Or do we pick it in the slot that Nukeduck's in and then pinch away Poppy?
That is the question indeed. But also, last time around, they picked Ivern as their second choice. Are they going to go for jungle again here? Maybe put Djoko on something like a Rek'Sai? Or are they going to go for like an AD carry or support since all the pinchings happened?
I mean, they should maybe lock the Kha'Zix if they want to play it into the Rengar. But they're definitely going to pick a jungle champion that they want because they don't want to get pinched in jungle second phase. And they want to pick it here early already so they can figure out what's somehow react anyways.
All right, so the Olaf is locked in and they have about 15 more seconds.
I would just pick Varus here
See
if
if
I
the
was
Varus comes out.
Vitality. But that's just me.
Could be the Jace still, but as you said, and I want to play it into the Poppy since it's not removed. Still several more picks. Maybe this time it's about the support. So the Tahm Kench is locked up. That's a fairly big front line for Vitality already.
It's also just really good into Rengar. When you see Rengar leap at all times right now, the problem is he just deals a million damage. You can just gobble up the target that he's going for. And it also leaves Hachani with a champion that he can play. Technically, it's double flex. Olaf can go top, Olaf can go jungle, Tahm Kench can go top, and Tahm Kench can go bot lane, but it's very unlikely.
All right, the Jhin Karma lane locked in for Splyce. Kobbe and Mikyx have got that. And one more pick over to Vitality before the second phase of bans begins.
So this Tahm Kench makes it so that Jhin is more valuable. You don't want to play Ashe into Tahm Kench because essentially, nor do you want to play Ashe into Olaf because Jhin can stay farther away from the fight for one, and Ashe arrows, I mean, there's already 2 targets you don't want to hit, and all the other targets that you could hit will just get eaten up.
So they pair it with the Varus on the side of Vitality. So we have the Jhin Varus lane that we've seen quite a lot of. I think we have quite a lot of data on that at this point.
The problem is it's not in the direct AD carry matchup, and what the data may give you is always contingent on the support pick. And the problem right now is that Jhin Karma will push in Tahm Kench Varus. So we'll need to see the synergy of farming under turret from Steelback and Hachani. So far it's a much better draft, but we still have to face the reality that Vitality, for some reason, left Rengar open.
Yeah, I feel like they can play against this one. Maybe just banking on the fact that Trashy would have another slow start. But, I mean, even though they foiled a couple early gank attempts, he still provided big pressure on that map and talked about getting pushed in by the Jhin and Karma.
So the cool thing here is that all the roles are matched. So it's AD carry for AD carry, support for support, and presumably jungle for jungle, which means that the second ban phase is actually not a pinch anymore because all the roles are picked. You move to banning around away the strong compositional picks or just OP picks right here. In terms of Vitality, they're basically saying, we want to play Jace again. We're just going to ban tanks.
Yeah, so they ban away the Maokai like they did last time. The Fiora is also banned. One more for Splyce, or
should be the
Vitality,
Jace here. I think Splyce should just ban the Jace. After Vitality ban away the Corki, so the strong power pick mid is banned out because Vitality is either going to pick Jace or Nautilus on this first rotation, I think, on their side. They don't want to give the Corki blind pick to Sencux because it is a matchup that he can blind pick and still do well on in terms of pressure. Vitality, they want to use their counter pick in the mid lane, ideally, to get the pressure advantage, I would imagine.
All right, there's the Syndra. It's taken away. Hadn't actually seen that one in the previous rotation of picks and bans, and we'll see what the pick is. Oh, are they going to do it? They lock the Katarina. Nukeduck has something to prove.
It up. They completely depart from the Jace, and they say, Splyce, you know what? If you guys want the Jace, take it. What? Mordekiser?
What?
Oh, this is versus mid. This is it's super strong lane counter to Katarina.
That. Splyce has got an answer for everything, and they locked the Nautilus for themselves on last rotation.
Of course they picked a tank, because they're like, I don't care that you play Jason top lane. Your lineup has 0 tanks. You're going to melt anyways. This is peculiar.
Okay. So Vitality might end up picking the Poppy. Okay.
Yeah, good, good, good. So that's good.
Wow.
Locking the tank on top lane.
They mixed things up for sure. That is not what I expected to see. But the Katarina versus Mordekiser. I mean, Sencux, he's been the one playing the Katarina himself, so he clearly knows the counter matchup that he wants to pick, and he does it. The Poppy's locked in now for Cabochard. Oh, this draft took a real interesting turn, didn't it, Krepo?
Yeah, there's so much to talk about here. Let's start with the fact that Katarina was picked early and why it's actually not done that often anymore, because while she snowballs very hard in solo queue, it's hard to achieve that in competitive play. and she actually doesn't have that much pressure in lane. But if you look at Splyce compositionally, what are they fighting her with? Only damage, no CC. So there's no targetable CC to lock this Katarina down, so she could technically dodge the ganks. Now, why is Mordekiser so good? It is because he will likely have control of the wave, and his 1-2-3 punch is just insanely strong against this Katarina, and he can just burst her and survive somehow. I've heard about this. I've heard whispers and tales about this Mordekiser, but I've actually never seen this matchup play out.
We're going to get to see it on the big stage. This mid lane matchup got really interesting. And not only that, I think Trashy's role in this too. If he ends up sitting in the mid lane, Nukeduck could have a real bad time. Yamato, smug smile on his face as he shakes hands with Arian walking off stage. This is going to be interesting.
And this is why I love best of 3, because when you smash the first game, you are allowed to take some liberties with the second one. You're like, you know what?
Still don't want to lose games, but
if it fails, you got another game. And worst case, we get to win with Mordekiser.
That's true. I mean, honestly, they're kind of trying to do this one in style. This is going to be oh so crazy, I feel.
Yeah.
And way earlier than we saw the last time. It was a 41-minute game with 9 kills in total. Yep. This is going to be a very different.
Yeah, this should be bloody, hopefully. I'm just trying to figure out what the mid game is going to look like, because that dictates how you got to play in the early game. If you got to identify who's your kind of key player to play around in the mid game, you got to get that guy ahead in the early. And if you look at the lineup from Vitality, it's a bit of a 1-3-1 setup, where eventually they move this Katarina to a side lane. They almost have 0 wave clear. So again, if Vitality fall behind, God forbid, they're going to need to brute force fights. And that is the one thing they couldn't do last game.
And they didn't even want to. I mean, that was what was so strange, is that they just kept backing off and giving away more of the map. And they're going to get pushed in the bottom this time around. They're probably going to get pushed in mid unless Nukeduck is able to go absolutely ham on this cat.
And they're actually getting slightly pushed into the top lane early on. But that doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's well, I won't say wet noodle fight, but when you've got Poppy as well, that's going to turn into a whole nother story the later the game goes. See what Vitality are able to get done. Now, stakes are raised here. Vitality's still hunting for the first win. If you think they can do it, head over to LOL Esports, at LOL Esports on Twitter, hashtag VIT win. And of course, we think Splyce are going to take it out with Mordekiser, hashtag SPY win. We'll find out. We load up onto the Rift.
I'm getting some TT tours here.
Beautiful view of Summoner's Rift to load up the day.
Have you seen
on the Vitality side?
The rumors of the Blood Moon reskin?
Just a few rumors. I've heard a few, just like this Mordekiser. All right, Trashy. Keep an eye on him this game for sure if he shows his face in the mid.
Yep. Thorn Shield start on Sencux with Exhaust. Really just looking to limit the damage and then punish Katarina once she gets into proximity. Starting with the W.
All right, Djoko going
so
up.
long that I've either played or seen a Mordekiser. I know he's not as strong on that third hit anymore, but it still deals a decent amount of damage.
There's all sorts of fun stuff with Mordekiser too. I mean, he's still got the Ghost Dragon and sorts of fun things he can do later on in the game.
Compositionally, if you're Splyce, you're fine going even and playing around Dragon, because what you're going to do is you're going to take that puppy, move that bad boy into the mid lane, and what the hell is Vitality going to do in terms of clear? They can't fight you 5-on-6 with a Dragon, so that is actually a play for Splyce to make. And they have the, and how do you get an objective? You push the 2 lanes around it and then invade, and they have that too. So that could be a macro play with his wacky comp for Splyce.
Yeah, Wunder's going to walk right into the hammer shot from Cabochard. Throws out his buckler. He just doesn't care. He's walking straight for him.
He's lost at this point anyways. Both junglers starting bot side, something we're not used to seeing. It is very strange. I guess Olaf really wants that blue buff early, otherwise his clear is very impeded. The problem for Olaf actually is on this patch, if you get a hard leash from bot lane, you don't drop low enough for your jungle clear. You actually get too much help.
Yeah, that's definitely not great.
Yep.
The lower he is, the faster he can attack. Sencux is going to take the opportunity and ward up the red, so they know that he started this side.
I mean, they know because the bot lane leashed. They're just confirming it. They're checking his pathing. And he doesn't want to take any Raptors because he doesn't know where Olaf's going to be. But both junglers are doing a similar path. Going towards top side. I imagine Trashy is just going to go maybe contest Scuttle Crab and then turn around. Definitely don't expect him to just go for that early gank top. But bot lane again, as we saw in the first game, is just pushing. Yeah,
it's going to happen. Trashy could try to snowball that one and maybe dive them under the tower. We'll see what happens. Djoko is going to be moving.
He's counting gank now because he saw the Olaf move. So now he's only going top for the counter gank, it seems.
Might just be able to do it. Okay, Ghost is on for Djoko, but they were fighting. Wunder's on the wrong side. He's going to have to flash. See if he can connect up with Trashy here.
It's going to be ugly, Pyra. They don't know that Rengar's in this brush.
No, now they do, and he's going to hop onto Cabochard. Wunder has tagged out, but they didn't have the damage. Ugly it was, but no kills.
A bit too far from Wunder. He was pushing up very far while Trashy was actually hitting the Skull Crab for some reason. Djoko really fast clear into top lane. The wave is being controlled by Cabochard, so while it looked very menacing, it's still a good point for Vitality here.
I'll take a look back to this mid lane, Sencux.
Yeah, he's just whacking away.
He's having a great old time, and Nukeduck hasn't really been able to do much but just match him farm for farm, and he's got so much sustain.
Yeah, he's just wiggling his mace. He's like, come on, jump in, pop that dagger. I dare you.
Ooh, I wonder how Nukeduck will play off against this one. We'll see. Djoko's back up top side to pressure Wunder.
But he was spotted, so this is all happening with information from Splyce.
Yes, indeed. He's going to have a big fat wave of minions pushing in, and he'll be able to pick this up without any trouble. Splyce, they just seem definitely not perturbed by this. And, you know, talk about answers in the pick and ban phase. Well, they've got answers in the early game, too. And Vitality, the game plan for them, want to see what it ends up being. Try to snowball that cat, but if it's locked up, well, what can you do?
Yeah. For Splyce, they're looking just for level 6 on Trashy. Rengar is broken in many ways, but he's not the strongest early ganker unless you walk up to a brush where he could potentially be. Sencux right now is just focusing on doing the same thing, pushing, pushing, pushing. Love that they're investing in vision early. Such a strong ward here, the control ward, because you just feel so bad when you set up a roam. A roam costs you about 40 seconds of playtime. Now, Mikyx.
Ooh, Hachani's going all in there, and he gets a nom up. Mikyx's going to have to flash Exhaust is down. He's not burning it yet. Hail of Arrows! Hachani,
yeah.
Man, he burned both summoners.
You got to flash, because those stacks, they stay on you, which means if there's another tongue lash that comes out, you're going to get stunned. Mikyx loses both summoners because he faced in a greedy brush. This is not a mistake. He should be making at this point. He's honestly underestimating Vitality.
Can't afford to get cocky. Vitality, they find an opening to come back in. Nukeduck only level 5 to Sencux as well. Trying to goes in, but he gets no damage on him.
Diving into the matchup a little bit, you saw the mace being kind of lit up from Sencux. That was obviously that third proc right there. That's why Nukeduck was waiting. The second that goes down, Nukeduck can jump in and obviously face way less damage.
Yeah, Splyce. I mean, that's all you need to really see in their first game. They were out farming by quite a large amount, and they just did not give Vitality really any openings at all. And this time around, it could be very different.
It's also indicative of how Splyce are playing on 3 lanes, because you can be the best farmers on 2 lanes, but you'll never match that amount of CS per minute, obviously, overall. It means that Vitality were playing with no pressure on all 3 lanes, allowing Splyce to farm all of them without getting picked off. Usually when you fall behind, what you do is you sacrifice farm on 1 lane, maybe even structure, and you try and find kills that lead to momentum. Vitality had no momentum. They were just standing still.
Trashy looking to set some momentum up for himself, and he's still only level 5. He does not have On the Hunt available, and Nukeduck is not playing too close to the river, so he has no opening. They knew he was there. That was a ward that he cleared out anyways.
Sencux was struggling a lot last week, especially in the terms of the CS department, which led to a pressure loss as well. Right now, he's doing fine. He's getting access to much better picks. Corki is a free farmer champion, even blind, and this Mordekiser counter-picking Katarina is allowing him to farm very easily. You can spam spells endlessly. You proc really easy. Djoko right now is looking to change up from last game. Karma no flash. She could be under pressure here.
There we go. There's a flash to Hachani. He's going to look for Mikyx right now. The Flourish does not connect, but they turn their attention. No summoners. Can they finish him off? He noms him up, and they take him down. It's first blood. And they stay alive. Hachani with the gray health. Nukeduck coming down to try and make more happen. Kobbe is saying nope, 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 nope.
Oh, if Nukeduck can just use this zone, it doesn't matter when he loses mid. If he can just stay around here and lurk and force Splyce to walk backwards, because Trashy's on the top side. Vitality, they're making a big down payment on potentially winning this early game. Really beautiful punish, and this goes back to earlier. Djoko would not go for that gank if Mikyx still had flash. It would be an absolute waste of his time, because he would drop to 20%, get flashed on, and potentially even die. But because Mikyx made that mistake, Vitality, they changed their game plan, and they punish really hard. Look at where Mikyx's playing. Like, he's somewhat okay. Flashed on, all he needs is 3 stacks, even though Hachani gets snared. And at that point, Kobbe is at risk of diving because Nukeduck's actually walking down. And that's a difference from last game. These guys are helping each other right now. First turret, first blood goes to Vitality. Massive swing.
Yeah, and a nice play from Hachani as well. And the last second he gets his gray health off, so he gets so much of a shield that Kobbe can't finish him off even though he's tanking through the turret. Nice play by Djoko this game, and it's really justifying out this Olaf pick.
Yeah, and because the lanes are still in very premature kind of stage, Splyce can't rotate either. They need to go back into the long lane. Usually bot lanes want to be protected by a turret at least. They kind of go bot. Look what they did right now with their time. They went bot, pushed out, facing again because they're scared to overstay because they can get run down by an Olaf. Potentially Hachani hitting level 6 later. So they're in a bit of a bind.
It's going to be a long lane now for Splyce to try and deal with, for sure. 8 minutes into this game, we have first blood a lot earlier. Trashy is going to get spotted. So things look great in the draft for Splyce, but it was Vitality who struck first in the bottom. And already night and day difference from previous game.
2 deep wards immediately as well, Pyra. You see right there, Trashy revealed. Hachani is a greedy, somebody though. Relic tier 2 over boots on Tahm Kench. I'm not sure. I like what Splyce is doing though. They push bot, and now we know why. They push bot to get the pressure, they base even more items, and they just force the dragon.
Yeah, talking about playing around it. Teleport. Teleport,
Wunder.
double teleport.
Way too late.
Yeah, Nukeduck. Oh, he's exhausted right now, and they turn for Steelback. He gets nommed up by Hachani. This has turned real messy, and Mikyx is burning down. The dragon is up for grabs, but Djoko is taken down, and they ghosted at him. Hachani's gonna get melted. Trashy had already taken out Nukeduck. It's a double kill to the Rengar of all people. Splyce clean house.
Wham, bam, slam. Thank you, ma'am, says Sencux. He's like trying to fight that Barret or the dragon right there. Djoko walks in and is like, I'm gonna steal this. Then Djoko remembers he's playing versus Mordekiser, and he gets a triple hit in the face. That was
metal, man.
A really good start from Vitality, but they threw it all away because they're just not used to playing against Mordekiser.
Ah, what a huge mistake that turned such a huge tide now. Dragon, 3 kills, 2 of them on Trashy, and then they get 1 turret. They might get another. We're not 10 minutes into this game, and they were pushing for mid-tier 2.
Yep, look at that dragon.
Oh.
That's just so annoying to play against.
It's been a while since I've seen this, but I'm getting some flashbacks a couple worlds ago even. Eats it, doesn't like the taste.
You can eat that dragon, unlike the other one, but
there
yeah, man, that is... It looked really good for a moment. Let's watch this again. So why is this good for Vitality? Teleport is at least 3 seconds earlier. They get them in the pit, but Steelback is playing too far up. Hachani is a bit late on the Devour. Nukeduck just used his full ultimate and didn't kill Mikyx because Mikyx had exhaust and flash up again. Why is nobody helping Nukeduck actually get a reset? They're greeting on this dragon because they're telling guys we can't give Mordekiser a dragon, we can't give him dragon, we need to stop them.
Oh man, they knew exactly what was going to happen once they basically just took down Djoko.
Yeah, no, once he got slapped in the face with that third proc from Mordekiser, Vitality was feeling real bad, but the main mistake still is not helping your Katarina get a reset.
And this is the issue we were criticizing Vitality for playing like last week, still more solo queue-ish. See the Katarina, pick up the Katarina, but they're not playing around it.
Yeah, and that's
big punish.
That's Steelback, honestly. I think you need a target or Nukeduck in their communication. You need to work together. Like, you honestly, guys, you have to work together in the target selection. You can pick any target and blow them up on the side of Splyce.
We talked about a really risky pick as well, and not just because of the counter availability, but I remember talking to Febivin last week, and he was just saying, look, it's not that hard to play against in competitive, because it is just so hard to snowball compared to solo queue, and people fall into that trap and think, oh, you know, it's going to be great, it's going to be the best, everyone's going to love it, and then it falls flat on its face. Yeah,
because it's a champion where you have, again, it's just like the scrim talk that we talked about in game 1. There's this natural curve that you're used to having on champs and even item buys. It's why it's sometimes hard for newer players to kind of look and build the same way pro players do. Because if you match what they do, you get the items at a much later time because you just simply don't CS that well. This pro player has a BF sword 2 minutes earlier than you. He has an IH 5 minutes earlier than you. He has his 4 items probably 7 to 10 minutes earlier than you because you just simply don't farm well enough. And it's really hard to compare comparative power levels.
You know, Mitch, I know I'm bad, but you don't have to tell me on broadcast. It's okay.
Yeah.
But it's very true. Vitality have just not been able to keep up since that move, and you know the gold has swung, of course, back to Splyce's favor. It is only 1,000, but when you consider the fact that they've got the tower in the mid and pressure in that lane as well as the other 2 lanes, in all honesty, with Nukeduck having to go up top.
It's a swing, right? They went from 1.7k gold behind to over 1,000 gold ahead right now. That is having a 2.5k gold early game swing is just absolutely massive in terms of not only the gold count in the game, but also the momentum.
Wunder's doing a lot of damage to start things off right now. It may have been Trashy that was getting the kill cleans up, but I mean, Wunder was just sitting in the middle, sending Riptides out.
Yeah, it's also what has happened in the laning phase as well. You know, these guys regen a lot of health, and they can obviously just spam their base abilities over and over. This obviously falls off later on.
Sure.
is why Nautilus doesn't scale that well, because he only has CC in the late game.
Especially compared to Poppy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but speaking of Poppy, charges the Rengar in the face, and he's going to have to flash away, but he's got no more. Just the wind-up. Bull is on.
Oh, come on.
And Kitty Cat's out of there.
Trashy's like, I've seen this montage play. You wait for the hammer, you wait for it to come down, you flash, and then this guy's just still spinning. Bit of a outplay there from Cabochard. Flashes, plays around Trashy waiting to jump in perfectly. Cabochard had a W down to cancel Rengar early, and then he just holds the hammer.
Yeah, questioning if Cabochard should be trying to play back on these tanks a little bit more, or if he really should step into the carry. But I mean, he's been taking to the Poppy. He's not having too much trouble this game.
Yeah, we see already the 1-3-1 that we were talking about earlier as well. Vitality have moved this Katarina to a side lane, but Sencux is so comfortable playing here unless he gets ganked. So all Splyce have to do is insert some deep vision, but they can, because again, they have the mid lane pressure. And that's why this Karma pick is seemingly so important for them, because it always generates them the pressure over Hachani and Steelback. And whenever Hachani and Steelback have been pushed in, Vitality as a team have had inferior vision control, which means that Splyce always get to know where the jungler is, which means they can push on the side lanes where he isn't, or respect him enough when he's close.
Absolutely. Question now becomes, where is Steelback and Hachani going to focus their attention? It does seem to be in the mid lane trying to match what Kobbe and Mikyx are doing, but I mean, can they really push back against this much better coordinated Splyce machine, as Nukeduck is getting some help from Djoko up top, but they're still firing away on that turret?
They're looking to neutralize the wave Rodder and then use the global from Tahm Kench. That's what you want to do. That's one of the reasons. Not only are they mid because Mikyx is here with Kobbe, they're also mid because Tahm Kench just plays so well from the mid lane. You walk up slightly to the side, and then you look for the Abyssal Voyage to deliver the jungler past the ward line. That's what they're looking for. But look how far Sencux is playing back right now. He knows that this is a possibility, and they can't actually pull the trigger there.
All right. So Hachani is going to be backing away. Yes, once again, Vitality have not been able to find a way in, but another 15 seconds will pass, and would you know it, Trashy's already down there. It might be time for another Ghost Dragon.
Yeah, it's Dragon time. Never ever have we seen two teams convene so intently around the double Cloud Drake, Pyra.
Very true. It's a good thing it was buffed all that time ago. Give themselves a little bit extra movement speed, and that's going to make it easier for Splyce to kind of rotate around this map quicker. Kobbe is going to dodge away from the Bola Strike, but
the biggest buff that we could ever give to a Cloud Drake is a Mordekiser buff, because he will go for that one every time. He doesn't care. He doesn't discriminate.
Vitality, they're not going to discriminate who they're going to catch this time around, forcing Mikyx's flash out. Captive audience, the Jhin trap gets popped, and now it is actually Vitality that are looking to seal away this dragon. But Splyce, they open up the curtain call right now. Wunder, he's TPing in around the backside. Vitality seem a little hesitant. Kobbe is going to knock Trashy into the wall. The chains are on. In comes Nukeduck, instant exhaust. He's blown up by Kobbe, and Splyce now, can they get this kill? Djoko is going to be able to get one more now. He's out of there, but Cabochard, he's going to fall. One more shot will do it. It is 2 kills to 1. Splyce out muscle and out maneuver.
Yep, they get the kill. It's a tough pill to swallow there from Vitality.
Thanks for the save, Krepo.
Yeah, I knew you were setting me up for that one. They get lured in again. It's honestly, this dragon is being used as a tool by Splyce. The first time they just go for it because they needed a way back into the game. Now Vitality is so tunneled on denying this dragon that they're again not coordinating their engage. They had TP advantage for over 3 seconds. Wunder, 1 was teleporting late, 2 was teleporting very far away, and he still managed to get a flank off because there was no synergy, no reset, and we can see why this exhaust Mordekiser is working out.
Yep, and here's Hachani and Djoko. They're going to try to pick up Sencux on the backside. They might just be able to do it, but look at how much damage he was dishing out. They finally collapse around him. So Splyce get turned on there, but all the same, they still had a turret in their pockets to top the dragon. Let's take a look at this fight again.
Yeah, they overstayed. They did not get an additional turret. Maybe it was a top lane. But again, everybody's looking at this dragon here. Djoko is getting poked out by dragon and Jhin ultimate. Look at Nukeduck. He's going for a kill on the Rengar, but instant exhaust, instant heal from Trashy, and all he has to do is die later than Nukeduck. That is the only purpose for him at this fight. And the Sencux stays alive, and the chase potential in the Nautilus, once he flanks in, is obviously massive.
And Cabochard lives quite a lot through 4 people sitting on top of him, but doesn't matter. Vitality did manage to secure a turret, however, in the middle of the map. So, at the very least, they get a little bit more gold back in their pockets, but they're still down 3,000. They're still down 2 Cloud Drakes. It's going to be difficult for them to keep going on this one. And, you know, talk about trying to snowball that cat. Well, still playing it solo, and an instant exhaust meant the Nukeduck could do nothing, really.
And it could be so much different for Nukeduck. Because if he just gets that one reset, that 1K becomes 3K. Oh, so fast.
And he nearly picked up Sencux, too, on the back of it, because you saw Trashy's health bar going down. You saw Sencux is going down. Quick flash from him. He's out of there. They let Kobbe take over on this Jhin, who was in perfect position. So, overall, I mean, just much better fight decisions, as well as map decisions from Splyce, and they're going to be able to knock down an outer tower up top.
Vitality on the verge of eating another loss here.
There we go. Depth charges up. Djoko throws the Ragnarok on, but he can't really do much as the rest of Splyce is here. Hachani! They cut through him, and the gray health included. Curtain calls onto Steelback.
Yeah, they're looking to rotate top right now. They've got mid pressure already. Sencux is prepping that wave.
Trashy gets a little ahead of himself, and Kobbe has to walk it long, but hey, you know what? They're still there fast enough.
Yep. Rotation's even faster now.
Well, 2 Cloud Drakes will do that to you, as they're going to be able to take out yet another turret. And Yamato closing the pages of the book right now is he's pretty happy to see his team looking to go 2-0 on the day.
Was that a rodeo Bible?
I don't know what that was supposed to be. I'm sure he'll tell us later. But let's get back into what's important here. Hachani getting caught out. Djoko able to run away, but it just doesn't matter.
But again, you see what it's like, right? So the support is trying to ward the first brush he can find in his jungle. Nobody's there to help him. He basically goes on comms and says, guys, I'm being hit. Man down. Immediately, top laner, mid laner, they turn around and start walking to him. They find out he's dead and they walk back to their spot. That's all they do. So it's insanely reactive gameplay from Vitality and zero proactivity. They don't group up. They don't say, guys, let's use Ghost from Djoko. Cabochard, you flash in. Let's use Abyssal Voyage. This guy. Let's mess him up. Let's get him good. No, that's not what they're doing. They're just playing on the lanes until somebody dies.
Just not finding the answers. All the same. Have had a few more plays than we saw from them last game. They are making decisions, but as you said, it really is only in response to what Splyce is doing, who have been much more action heavy. We're getting close to that 20-minute mark, and it is a 5,000 gold advantage to Splyce, and the map is all theirs, but there are some wards behind them right now.
Yeah, super clean right now, again, from Splyce. But you wouldn't think it when you saw the early game. They lost first bot, first tower. There are very few teams that just bounce back this fast from that deficit. And at this point, I don't know whether it's attributed to Splyce being good or Vitality being less than good.
That might be the case, as Cabochard is in a 1v2. It's hammer time again, so he's going to be able to send it back. Another Cloud Drake spawning, so if Splyce pick this one up, they're going to be real hard to catch.
Yeah, and I've actually seen somebody make this point. I don't know who anymore, but it was a caster on a game. When you have 3 Cloud Drakes, it actually becomes a little bit absurd. It's actually insane. I think it was Mark Z on the North American broadcast in the post-game segment, where like 1 Cloud Drake, you're like, I wish it was Infernal. 2 Cloud Drakes, you're like, you know what, at least we got 2 dragons. 3 Cloud Drakes, you're moving fast. You can make picks where other teams are not expecting you to, because everybody has this kind of idea of like, okay, I see a champion this far away from me. I know when he will roughly catch me. It's kind of embedded in you after tons of games. With 3 Cloud Dragons, that entirely changes.
Yeah, and look at how many tools they have to actually catch someone. I mean, Trashy on the hunt, not in combat, moving so quickly. You've got Wunder can throw the anchor out, and I mean, Kobbe and Mikyx can get in position really easily too. I mean, Vitality, they have to contest this, but they have to be smarter about it.
Yeah, look at Mikyx. It's like he has perma ghost on him. It's so funny. Like, if he gets a 3rd Cloud Drake, he's going to be just blitzing through this map.
What did it come to this point, Krepo, that Cloud Drakes were so important?
I mean, not that important. If I could choose, I'd still get 3 Infernals or 3 Mountains.
Yeah.
It's just that when you start multiplying them, they have an interesting like way of looking at it I never really thought about.
Yeah. Well, not to mention, Sencux is going to be pretty happy with just about any dragon. So playing around that side of the map and pretty easy for them to pick it up. It looks like Splyce might be trying to bait Vitality into another fight that they know.
Yeah, and it is still the same old kind of Mordekiser build here. You want the Rylai's Crystal Scepter. It's even better now for Morde because he likes the utility from it. He needs to keep them slow. Doesn't want to funnel too much cost into that item. Really early to spike. Flying from Trashy here, opening up. Ooh,
oh boy,
combo.
Hachani is going to get the eat on, but Djoko won't be so lucky. Steelback outside the curtain call range, but it isn't going to matter. Trashy actually having to flash back as Djoko on the front line was dishing the damage. They dodged from the flourish, and Nukeduck around the side, looking for an in if he can find it right now. Depth charge onto Steelback. Nukeduck trying for it. Wunder, he's gone in. He takes Djoko out right now.
Just do something, Nukeduck.
Cabochard, he's trying to make things happen. Mikyx is gonna fall. Nukeduck, no! He's staying alive through it all, and Wunder is even tanking the turret. Finally, Mikyx burns down to nothing. The hammer wind up.
Come on.
That was underwhelming, man.
Nukeduck. There's an 80 carry that's on 0 HP. Oh, he can try again.
Okay, Wunder, he's going to try to make the 1v3 happen, but look at
that's
how low he is! He gets hit with the anchor, and Wunder's taking him out of this fight!
He doesn't jump in on half HP carries, but he does jump in on a 40% HP tank. It makes no sense at all, Pyro.
I am utterly confused, Krepo, that's for sure, but it is a 3-for-2 all on the fight, so Splyce have the edge. They're going to go for this dragon. That was one of the messiest things I've seen today.
Yeah. It was a really good initiation from Splyce. Again, map movements, get the pressure to get them to double flank.
We're not over. Kobbe's coming.
Oh, he's going to fight this in a dragon here.
Doesn't matter, going to get smited away by Trashy, but they might be able to take him down. On the back of it, it's going to be Steelback with a piercing arrow, but he gets pulled in by Wunder. And he's going to go down. A Riptide, shutdown gold to Wunder. Cabochard, Djoko, Hachani all trying to make this fight happen, but with the Ghost Dragon, the odds just are not even enough, and Sencux claims another kill.
Such a rash play from Vitality. It feels like everybody on this team has forgotten that Nautilus deals a ton of damage in the early game.
And he's about to do even more.
Wait.
He upgrades his Dark Seal into a Medgice.
It's like, I got this, guys.
Wunder's having a great game.
Look at me, I'm the AP carry now. More you go utility. But again, there's just mismatched focus from Vitality. They're not syncing it with Nukeduck. They're not making any proactive plays. And they're just leveraging this advantage into a Baron play.
Yeah, Splyce are going to use the Dragon to take the Baron. How many times do you get to see that happen in a professional match? Nukeduck is going to try to pick something up around the side. Djoko does not have Ghost, cannot flash into the pit, obviously. Nope. He just throws the axe to see it's going to be happening. Wunder can just tank this up. There's a teleport out of Cabochard, but the Baron, they kind of peeled off it now, and they're not going to be on it. Whoa, there's a curtain call opening up. Nukeduck dodges 1, gets eaten by Hachani for 2. Djoko tanking 3, and now Trashy finishes it off. Don't need that 4th shot, and they're right back to Baron. No smite to steal.
Yeah, Sencux may want to pick up that honey fruit because he's a tad low. Obviously, he has a lot of spell vamp built in, so he should be fine. Nukeduck's actually at 40%. Not in kill range right here. But yeah, just a massive threat that happens whenever Wunder walks up. They're looking for a lucky steal here. Knocking some guys away. Maybe a Varus steal, but it's probably not going to happen.
No, he just sends Wunder flying, and that's okay. Thank you very much, say Splyce, as they pick themselves up. The Baron, it's 12-6 in kills. We're getting close to 25 minutes, and this game is getting out of hand for Vitality.
All right, let's see this again. So it's a good pincer. Djoko going low. Cabochard is fighting Nautilus here, so this is essentially a 4v4. Let's look at Nukeduck. He has Flash and Ignite available. I understand he doesn't want to go in here. But when Kobbe takes this damage from this Q, Nukeduck should go in. Just flash. Just make something happen. Try it. Even if it fails, go for Trashy. But he goes for Mikyx, which is the guy with the exhaust all alone. And look at how low Mikyx goes. He dies in the end. Just enough.
And then they go over this fight again. Nukeduck should not be even trying to do this. He thinks he can get a kill off, and then,
yeah,
well,
at this point, it's just trying to catch the loss. You've already lost so much, and you're just going for the kill.
At least Steelback got a kill back on the board.
Yeah, Steelback's hitting a lot of his piercing arrows, but why don't they synchronize this together? So you know what? You try and hit a Q on this guy. If it lands, I'm going to jump in. Somebody flash and do an auto. That is a kill reset. That's how you got to play Katarina. Like, if you want to play this champ on the professional stage, you need to figure out your targets faster than your enemies do.
Speaking of fast, all the Splyce were just out-maneuvering and out-moving. Even though Hachani took the Abyssal Voyage in, it was them that were getting caught, and Hachani is taken down. Another curtain call shot claims the life of Djoko, and they found Nukeduck and melt through his health bar. Cabochard saying, where the hell is my team?
Well, they're all dead, Pyra. That's what happened right there. Really good flank again. At this point, Splyce is snowballing with the Baron buff, with the amount of power they've built up, and the 3 Cloud Breaks. They can just make picks so swiftly here. Looking to put the nail in the coffin, and Vitality, they will be leaving today with even more questions than they had coming into the series. Honestly, disappointing performance.
Absolutely, but Splyce had to be oh so happy about how things have gone out. Cabochard whiffs on his keeper's verdict. Wunder might go down, but even the tanks do damage on the side of Splyce right now, and they just cut through the last of the towers. Steelback trying to push off Wunder, the rest of Vitality trying to respond, but this Nexus is going down. Nukeduck's Ghost is helping out this final push.
He's looking for the resets here. They're going a bit too deep. Mickey is low, has exhaust again.
Not enough. Cabo, he's going to push Mikyx out. There's still a tower here. Splyce might have bitten off a bit more than they could chew, but there's still lanes. Waves pushing up in the top, but Cabochard, they've caught him. Wunder, oh, the damage is not enough to finish the job, but Djoko's taken out by Trashy. Hachani in the back. They melt through Nukeduck. They're going to take down Hachani, and there will be no one left but Cabo and Steelback to oppose them. And Splyce, they just don't care with the flourish. A double kill over to Sencux, and it's all Nexus. GG, well played. Splyce, go 2-0.
18 stacks on the Magi's. They still haven't killed the inhibitor. We're still going, guys. It's finally done. Yay.
There we go. Oh, man.
They were playing for KDA. They were trying to get more stacks on the Soul Stealer, which is why it was delayed a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a good reason, right? God, you know something's gone silly when you got a 409 Nautilus that's got nearly full stacks on his Magi's at the end of the game. And
yeah.
well, Wunder's not the only one happy about that. All of Splyce. Smiles on their faces. Maybe some sheepish grins, too.
Yeah, but it could be rough. They were down considerable amount. 1.7K early.
Big play from Vitality early on, to be honest.
And they got baited into that Dragon Pit there, Vitality, and that obviously changed everything.
Yeah, that's indeed. And not being able to set up Nukeduck properly really cost Vitality this game. They were more, not proactive, but they were making plays that just, the plays were not well calculated.
Yeah, no, I like that they were making more plays, but to me, it feels like we were also getting a high five from Trashy there.
Yeah, the air fives.
Nice. I like that I think about the caster sometimes.
It's nice, so consider it, guys.
But we weren't seeing, for me, target selection in the comms. It's really hard to tell. Maybe they did. This is pure conjecture, but it doesn't feel like me that Vitality was calling out teamfight targets. This guy. It feels like everybody was just kind of hitting whatever was closest to him. And then when they did, we saw Steelback very often walk in, get the piercing arrow, he shot it, he killed somebody, but he walked straight into Nautilus, essentially trading his life for whatever target he killed.
Yeah.
So we need more refined team fighting from Vitality.
And Wunder got pretty fed all across the board from it. So, you know, just overall, great performance by Splyce, but there just wasn't enough for Vitality to really do. Now, for more on that 2-0 victory for the Splyce boys, let's send it over to the analyst desk.